welcome to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I have spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. Today we're going to be talking about mindset and what your mindset says about your leadership. And I'm actually really excited to dive into this a little bit higher level. But regardless of where you are in your leadership journey, this is going to resonate with you on so many different levels. And let me just tell you, if I could go back to the beginning of my leadership role, right? The minute I became a teacher, I became a leader in the world of education. I wish I would have had this information back then. So if you're at the very beginning of your leadership journey, this is going to serve you so well. If you're in the middle, you're going to be so glad you learned it because it's going to save you some headaches. And if you're further along in your leadership journey, some of this might sound familiar, but you're going to have a completely different kind of perspective on the overall role that leadership or that mindset plays in your leadership. So before we get started, I just need to say this. When you think about mindset, when I used to teach mindset to my students and talk to them about mindset, I used to tell them that your mindset is your lens on life. And I actually had a bunch of different random sunglasses, some with red lenses, purple lenses, blue lenses. I had polarized glasses. And I would have the kids put them on. And that, depending on what glasses you put on, it would change what you saw. It would change the colors of things. It would change your perception of things. And that's how I help them understand your mindset is your lens on life. Your mindset is your lens on life. Your mindset is what determines how you see the world. Your mindset determines your perception and your reality. Your mindset, oh my gosh, this is so big. Your mindset can be your greatest asset or your biggest liability. And when it comes to leadership, mindset matters. Your mindset just doesn't reflect what you see, by the way. It reflects who you are. So it's called a mindset because it's how you set your mind. Interestingly, we all have a default mindset, which is what our mindset is naturally without us having to think about it. So there are some people who are very naturally optimistic minded. That would be me. I have a natural optimistic mindset. It's my default state, my default nature. So when a challenge arises, I'm like, oh, let's figure it out. When something isn't going awesome, I'm naturally like, well, at least it could be worse, right? At least it's this, and look at the good of this, and this is what this means. Like, it's almost to a point where for most people, it's actually kind of annoying because some people just want you to be in like the funk with them, right? But I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be like Miss Brightside when it comes to things. So we're your positive Polly's. And then there's those people who have a very natural pessimistic mindset, right? Your negative Nicks, your Eeyores of the world, like the, oh, bother. We all have our own default mindset, but can we talk about, for those of us who are naturally, carry a positive mindset, we really struggle with people who have a negative mindset and vice versa, I'm sure, because I just don't understand negative minded people. I just don't understand it. It doesn't compute with me. It doesn't make sense. There's a natural clash of energy and ideas and all the things. It's actually really challenging to be around people who are like that. It's exhausting. And you guys, you know what I'm talking about. So we all have a default mindset, and I want you to stop and I want you to think about yours. If I were to ask you to define your mindset in one or two words, how would you describe it? And something probably already came to your mind. And whatever that was, that's your default. That's just where your mindset naturally operates. And it's not until you work to shift your mindset or change your mindset or recognize that you have choice in the matter that you can elevate or grow your mindset or change your mindset altogether. So you can tell a lot about a person based on their mindset, and it's often a pretty solid predictor of success. So what most people are not aware of, and what I want to make abundantly clear on this episode, is that mindset is more than a mental attitude. Mindset is a choice we make every day that profoundly influences our decision-making, leadership style, and our long-term success. So leadership is so dependent upon mindset. And if we know that mindset is a choice, like, yes, we have our default running mindset, right? But if we get to choose what our mindset is, and we have the ability and the power to choose, and that's going to be our greatest asset or our biggest liability, we want to choose better because we want to enhance our leadership. In today's episode, we're going to explore 4 different types of mindsets and understanding how the choices we make regarding our mindset can elevate or decimate our leadership potential. So let's dive in to how mindset is a choice and the profound impact it has on our ability to lead effectively. So there are 4 mindsets. So there's a fixed versus a growth mindset, an abundance versus a scarcity mindset, a proactive versus a reactive mindset, a positive versus a negative mindset. So there's these 4, right? Of course, there's tons of other mindsets out there, but these are the 4 most common. And for every one of them, there's a positive and there's a negative. So growth would be the positive, fixed would be the negative. Abundant would be the positive, scarcity would be the negative. Proactive would be the positive, reactive would be the negative, and of course, positive is positive, negative is the negative. So it's important to understand for every hero mindset, the positive, there's an anti-hero, the negative, right? So hero and anti-hero. So the first one is really, really important because when you have a fixed mindset, chances are, in fact, I'll just say this to you. If you're listening to this podcast right now, if you're actively seeking growth and actively seeking new knowledge and information, chances are you have more of a growth mindset than a fixed mindset. If you're coming here to learn something new, to apply to your life, to make the change, to continue to grow and learn and evolve, then you're already on the growth track, which means you already have a growth mindset. And so you're not so much of the fix, but it's important as leaders that we understand both because we're working with people and we have to be able to know and understand what mindsets our people carry so that we can grow and evolve them as well. So there's the fixed mindset person is a person who is not open to growth. A fixed mindset believes that abilities, intelligence and talents are set in stone, that people are who they are. They are like intelligence is set, talent is set, ability is set. It is what it is. Leaders with a fixed mindset are going to shy away from challenges. They're going to avoid feedback and feel threatened by others' success because they believe that their potential is limited. So people with a fixed mindset are very rigid and stuck in their ways. They do things the way they've always done things. They don't like when things are shifted or changed. They don't like unpredictability. They're not actively seeking growth. Fixed mindset people are, they're just like not fun to be around. You know, they're just like not high energy, not high vibes, they're not fun to be around. A growth mindseted person embraces challenges. They see failure as an opportunity to learn. And they believe that intelligence and skills can be developed over time. Leaders with a growth mindset are more resilient, they're more adaptable, and they're willing to invest in continuous learning both for themselves and for their team. So when you hear these 2 mindsets, a fixed mindset, some of you guys might like have a really hard time hearing me even talk about it because you're just like, oh, that's so not me. I'm the other way. And there's different levels like of the growth mindset. Like you just turned a corner and just getting that growth mindset, and it just scales and grows as you go. And you might be deciding where you are now. When we know this information, we're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so's a growth mindset person, the so-and-so is a fixed mindset person. And now you start to understand. Now things start to become clear. Now you're like, oh, that's why they get defensive when I, give feedback. They don't have a growth mindset. So, of course, feedback to them feels threatening, or, oh, of course, they feel threatened because somebody over here is doing better or going faster or having more success than them right now because they believe their own potential is limited. So it kind of opens our eyes to people and who they are and what they're going through. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that there's the role of that choice plays in these two mindsets. Listen, every day, leaders are faced with challenges and setbacks. So choosing to have a growth mindset allows you to see obstacles as opportunity, which enhances your problem-solving abilities and drives innovation. This mindset is what creates a culture of learning and improvement within your team, fostering a more agile and successful organization. So this is why it's so important to not just have a growth mindset, but to model a growth mindset, to be open and talk and share about how you see opportunity during a challenge or a setback, or how you solve problems out loud and think of new ideas and share that and be open with your team so you can model those mindsets. You can model the mindset as well. And when we talk about the role of choice here, we talk about mindset being a choice, just like you choose the clothes that you're going to wear, just like you decide ahead of time before you go to a restaurant what you're going to eat, like choice, right? We have the ability to choose our mindset before we walk into any room, any environment, any context, any situation. We get to stop, we get to check, and we get to be aware. Now that we know that we could choose our mindset going in, we're going to change our mindsets going in. Just like when the season changes and like when you're traveling, like if you're going to go to the beach, before you go, you're going to look up the weather. Is it going to be mostly sunny? Is it going to be mostly chilly? And then that determines what type of clothing you pack. When you're going and you're traveling out of the country and you're wanting to do excursions, that's going to determine the type of things you bring along with you. So when you look at your day and you look at the calls that you're going to be on, or the meetings you're going to go to, or the groups that you're going to be around, you're going to know what mindsets are going to be required for you to be successful and for your team to be successful. And that's the level of choice that I want you to approach this with. I don't want you to just end up, see, the mistake that most people make, and the reason why most people are miserable and get stuck and never really make progress in life and live really unsatisfied lives, is because they don't learn this soon enough. And they become a victim and a product of their circumstance. If more people understood that they had the power to choose and create their circumstances, choose and create how they're going to respond in those times, they realize how much more choice they have in the life that they end up living. It's really so incredibly powerful. So understanding that, deciding ahead of time what mindset you're going to bring to the party, so to speak, is going to serve you in so many immeasurable ways. So the first mindset, fixed versus growth. The second mindset are abundance and scarcity mindset. Now, listen, what I need you to understand about these mindsets is that you can't have one without the other. Like let's just pretend that having a growth mindset is step one, and you have to have a growth mindset to have an abundant mindset. And you have to have an abundant mindset to have a proactive mindset. And you have to have a proactive mindset to have a positive mindset. Like they all feed into each other. Chances are, if you have a fixed mindset, guess what? You also have a scarcity mindset, which means you're also reactive and have a reactive mindset, which also means you probably, oh my gosh, yeah, shocking, negative mindset. So they're all linked, and you have to have one before you can have the other. You cannot have a fixed mindset and be a person of abundance. It's just not how it works, right? So let's talk about these two mindsets. A scarcity mindset, an individual with a scarcity mindset, focuses on limitations and competitions. These are the I can't people. I can't, there's not enough, da 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 da. And they're like hyper focused on competition. They talk about things like saturation, and they talk about things, worried about what other people and other companies are doing. Then they're focused on competition. It's coming from a place of lack, which is scarcity. Leaders with this mindset often feel that there isn't enough success or resources or opportunity to go around. So what happens is they become hyper-focused on hype to attract. And I always say, if it's super hypey, you should get gripey, because there's something hidden in that. when you have to hype something up overly, like you just like have to like make it super hypey, it's because it's not what it's all cracked up to be, because you have to like backpack it, like load it, like front load it, like I don't know what the word I'm trying to use, like hard pack it with like all this excitement to try to capture attention and capture people and captivate energy, because you don't think that, you really don't believe, when it comes down to it, that scarcity aspect, you really don't believe that there's enough success to go around, that there's enough this, there's enough that. That's why you're hyping it up. Like, listen, if an opportunity is really good, it's going to be really good on day 500 it is on day 1. If a business is really good, it's going to be just as good 5 years from now as it is during pre-launch. Like, there's no reason to like hype or have this sense of like urgency when it comes to that. Like, it just doesn't. It comes from scarcity. And what happens when a leader operates on this mindset is it can lead to a fear-based decision making. It can lead to fear-based, decision-making processes and reluctance to share knowledge or opportunities with other, like people who gatekeep, people who don't want to share resources, people who, this is one of my biggest pet peeves actually as a leader. See, I'm the kind of leader, like, I don't care what team you're on, what business you're in, where you fall, what you sell, any of those things. If you come to me and you need help, like, I'm going to provide it. Like, I'm just going to, because that's service, and service is leadership. Leadership is service. Like, those two are synonymous, right? But when you gatekeep, or you're like, oh, well, you're not on my team, so I can't pour into you, or like, you're not on my business, so I can't really help you. That to me is gross and disgusting. And it just screams a scarcity mindset. So a person with an abundance mindset, on the other hand, believes that there's enough for everyone. Leaders who adopt this mindset, they collaborate freely. They share opportunities. They share resources. They celebrate other people's success because they trust that more success is going to come their way. I love when I see this, by the way, on social media, when somebody's like, I got this big promotion, or our company's doing this, or my team did this, and this is happening, and they're celebrating and people from other businesses and other industries and other companies are like, oh my gosh, way to go, girl, way to crush. Like today, one of my friends' husbands, they're in a completely different company, and he posted, oh my gosh, so proud of my wife. She crushed it on stage, gave an incredible speech, and he posted her on stage speaking. I adore this couple. I adore these two humans. They're amazing people. And I was just like, I commented, like, get it, way to go, like acknowledging and celebrating. She's not in my company. We don't lead together. We don't have a team. We don't mutually financially benefit from another, but I can jump in there and comment and celebrate because I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for being a strong leader. I'm proud of her for leading her company. I'm proud of her for earning the ability to be on stage and, teach people incredible things. We got to celebrate that. When you have an abundance mindset, my gosh, abundance is the gateway to joy and love and success. You cannot have a scarcity mindset and expect greatness. And it's so interesting. And I say this because I want you to remember this. Like, listen, we are hardwired for scarcity. We are hardwired for scarcity. That's how we survived. People hoarded food and they hunted for a period of time and stacked it all away for, those, times of uncertainty when you didn't know if there was going to be food to harvest or animals to hunt or whatever the case may be. We are hardwired for scarcity. It's how we protect ourselves. It's how we've survived for so long. We are hardwired for scarcity, but let me tell you this also. We are heart-wired for abundance. Heart-wired. We are hardwired for scarcity, but heart-wired for abundance. That's why we are encouraged to ask, why we're encouraged to pray for the things we want, why we're encouraged to seek that it's okay to want to accomplish more and have more and do all that, because we are meant to live abundant lives. We are meant to have abundant success. We are meant to have, and it's funny because if you get a birthday card from me, I'm like, I wish, a year of abundant joy, abundant happiness. Abundance is such a big, open, accepting, wide thing, just makes room for so much. And as a leader, choosing an abundance mindset allows you to build stronger, more collaborative teams. Because when you lead with abundance, you foster and cultivate a culture of abundance. You're going to make decisions based on long-term success rather than short-term fear. which will ultimately create a more positive and thriving work environment. This mindset, you guys, leads to trust, loyalty, and an organization that supports innovation and growth. So I encourage you as leaders to think abundantly, lead abundantly, have that abundance mindset, speak with abundance in mind, and move away from that scarcity mindset, move away from competition, move away from hype, move away from the idea that there isn't enough, because there's like over 8 billion people on the planet now. Trust me, there is plenty to go around. The next set of mindsets are proactive versus reactive. When you have a reactive mindset, leaders with a reactive mindset are often caught off guard by challenges and respond to situations based on emotion and pressure. So this is like my favorite set of mindsets here, because it's really easy to tell that someone is stuck here. Someone is stuck in this anti-hero mindset of being reactive based on how they react. When they react with emotion, when they freak out, when they trip over little things, which is why I have my saying, guys. That's why I say it. The equipped don't trip. When you're personally developed and you're growing and you're in growth mode and you're learning and you're moving along these mindsets and elevating and scaling yourself in that way, the little things no longer trip you up. It's the underdeveloped person who trips up on the little things. Like a speed bump is a legit 15-foot wall. Listen, this is why we say things never get easier. The challenges, the setbacks, the craziness, it never gets easier. You as a leader just get better at responding to these things. So again, leaders with a reactive mindset are caught off guard by challenges, and they respond to situations based on emotions or pressure, and you feel it when they do. They're short, they're rash, they're angry, they're flippant, they're brash with what they decide to do. There's all this urgency, and it's kind of crazy and chaotic, and this can lead to rush decisions, which are always bad, by the way. Stress and a constant feeling of playing catch up. When you're a leader, it is your job to be proactive. It is your job to anticipate challenges. It is your job to know what setbacks are coming. It's so important. And this is why when I'm mentoring and coaching people, when they establish a new goal or they tell me there's something they're working toward, one of the very first questions I ask is, what challenges do you foresee? What setbacks do you foresee? At what points in your journey, or what things could happen that are going to make you maybe want to quit or give up or give in? What are the things that can happen? And I want to identify those things ahead of time, because what that does is it allows us to prepare for them. It allows us to, have strategies to overcome that obstacle when it inevitably arrives. And it's that proactive thinking that creates opportunity for better decision-making, and more success. You see, a proactive mindset focuses on anticipating challenges and preparing for them ahead of time. Leaders with a proactive mindset actively seek out potential problems. They plan strategically, and they make thoughtful decisions that align with their long-term vision. It's kind of like, I thought about this actually during, I think it was like late spring, we were having like a bunch of rain. And I remember seeing a report on the weather that was saying like later over the weekend, there was going to be all this rain. They were expecting like some localized flooding and blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was interesting how, on that, in the middle of the week, out of nowhere, the city crew, they're out trimming trees, they're cleaning, the gutters and making sure storm drains are clear, because they're anticipating this weather that could bring flooding. So let's go in and plan strategically. Let's go trim some trees so we don't have power issues, or let's go clean the storm drains so that water can drain properly and we don't end up with flooded streets and things of that nature. It's just like that. So choosing a proactive mindset is what's going to enable you to lead with foresight and confidence. This is why this mindset matters so much. Because as a leader, when you lead with confidence, you create a team that is confident. You want to develop that. That's why having that proactive mindset really matters. Rather than reacting to crisis, you'll be able to guide your team through challenges with a calm and strategic approach. This mindset really fosters stability and resilience in both your leadership and your organization. And it's interesting because as I've seen leaders grow and elevate in their, in their journeys, as they've, have more time and experience underneath their belt, a proactive mindset naturally kind of starts to develop. And that makes sense, right? Because you have to have a growth mindset to be on a growth track, to be able to lead, which naturally gives way to that abundance mindset, which will give way at some point to this proactive mindset. And that's when you see these leaders where something big happens or something that looks on the outside detrimental or terrible or scary happens. And you're like, why aren't they fazed by this? Why do they seem like they're fine? And it's because A, they've experienced something like this before. B, they've become resilient. And when you're resilient, you have the ability to overcome. When you're resilient, you're not so focused on what is taking place as you are, is how you're moving through it. You don't get caught up. You don't get hung up by the things that are happening. The goal, we're still moving toward the goal. We're still chasing down the vision, right? We expect these things to happen and we just roll right through it. So as you mature as a leader, that proactive mindset is going to develop. And man, what an incredible place to be, an incredible place to get to. And this is really how you can distinguish a mature from an immature leader, is that mindset right there. Then we have the positive versus the negative mindset. And, a negative mindset focuses on the obstacle. These are the people who can't stop talking about the problems. They have a negative mindset. They are focused on the risks and the potential failure. They don't take risks because they don't want to fail. Leaders with this mindset often dwell on worst case scenarios and allow setbacks to diminish their confidence and ability to inspire their teams. People with negative mindsets, guess what? They're just not inspiring. Negative people don't make great leaders, period. So if you want to be a leader and you have a negative, a tendency to have a negative mindset, we're going to need to work on that right away. Go read The Positive Dog by John Gordon, followed by The Energy Bus by John Gordon. Those two books right there are going to make a big impact on you if that's the kind of mindset that you have. Or if you're working with people that have those mindsets, those are two great book recommendations. But a positive mindseted person, however, focuses on possibilities, solutions, and opportunities for growth. Leaders with a positive mindset are not oblivious to challenges. They just choose to approach them with optimism and a belief that they can overcome them. And it's so important to lead like that. It's so important for your people to see you lead like that. I remember as an administrator, when I would have a teacher come to my office and want to talk about a problem, I kind of created this precedence of, if you're going to come to me with a problem, also come to me with a solution to that problem. Because you're probably a product of the problem, or producing the problem, or making the problem bigger. Come with a solution. And what happens is the people who don't want to focus on solutions, they just stop complaining. And that makes your job so much easier, by the way. So if you have somebody on your team who is this person constantly wants to come with complaints and problems, like, start setting a precedence. Hey, if you're coming to me with a problem today, also come to me with a solution. If you don't have it yet, come back to me. Chances are they won't, or chances are they'll come back with a really amazing solution because they were so hung up on the problem. Either way, here's the deal. This is why choice matters. This is why we got to choose to have a positive mindset. Because every leader, guys, if you're in the trenches and you're out there and you're leading, you're going to face adversity, but how you choose to view these challenges is what defines your leadership. By adopting a positive mindset, you're going to inspire your team to remain hopeful and resilient, even in difficult times. This mindset fuels creativity, morale, and productivity, all of which contribute to greater long-term success. And again, as a leader, the most important aspect of having these mindsets is having the opportunity to model these mindsets and inspire these mindsets in other people. So as we kind of bring this all together, and as I wrap this up, I want you to remember that mindset isn't something that happens to us. It's a daily choice. And as leaders, we have the power to decide how we approach challenges, how we treat opportunities, and how we guide our teams. The mindsets you choose will shape not only your personal success, but the culture and the future of your organization. Listen to me. If you feel like your organization is stuck, like your people are stuck, it's probably because you're stuck with a certain mindset. When your mindset grows and your mindset evolves and your leadership evolves, so will the mindsets of your team. So will the culture of your organization. That's why as leaders, we have to go first. That's why as leaders, we have to lead by example. Your team is often a reflection of you, and you have to remember that your mindset isn't just what you see, it's a reflection of who you are. And people will mirror that, not what you say, what you do. And what you do is a reflection of who you are. What you do is a reflection of your mindset. It's crazy when you start to think about it this way. When you choose a growth mindset, an abundance mindset, a proactive mindset, a positive mindset, you're choosing. Listen to, oh gosh, I'm so fired up. When you choose a growth, abundance, proactive or positive mindset, you are also choosing to lead with strength, vision, and resilience. When you choose those mindsets, you're choosing, like, what leader doesn't want to lead with strength, vision, and resilience? Every leader should aspire to lead with strength, vision, and resilience. And in order to do that, you have to adopt, you have to choose, you have to embody, you have to lead with a growth mindset, an abundance mindset, a proactive mindset, a positive mindset. This choice is what sets the stage for transformative leadership that drives success at every level of your organization. So the next time you face a difficult decision or an unexpected challenge, take a moment to ask yourself, what mindset am I going to choose here? Better yet, when you wake up in the morning and you grab your cup of coffee and you activate the human inside of you, ask yourself, what am I going to set my mind to today? What is my mindset going to be today? And I'm telling you that one choice can change so much. You're not even going to believe it. So when you think about this, declare. So here are the three things. I want you to decide, declare, and be diligent. So decide every single day, decide what your mindset is going to be. Declare it. Write it down, like literally put it in your planner, write it on your whiteboard right where your computer is. Text your accountability partner. This is my mindset for today. No matter what flies at me, this is where I'm operating from. I'm so excited. Let's do this. And then be diligent. Be diligent. It's going to be difficult to maintain that mindset when things get tricky or things get tough or something happens or you get thrown off a little bit or an unexpected something arises. It's going to be difficult, but I want you to be diligent in maintaining that mindset and showing up in the characteristics of that mindset, showing up with choice and knowing that you're leading with strength, you're leading with vision, and you're leading with resilience when you lead with those mindsets. So my question to you now is, what mindset are you going to choose for the remainder of the day? Now that you know better, we got to do better, right? What I love about being here with you in these moments is the opportunity to create awareness. Because you may not have known that mindset was a choice. You may not have known about these mindsets. You may not have known about the role that they played in leadership and how much of an impact they have over your organization. But now we're aware. And awareness creates opportunity for action. And now you can take action on this. Now you can stop wherever you are, in the shower, making breakfast, at your computer, in the car, wherever. And you get to decide. You get to make one of the biggest decisions of your entire day now. That's going to create incredible change and lasting impact. Listen, if you found today's episode to be eye-opening and inspiring, take a moment, share it with an aspiring leader friend who's looking to not only grow themselves, but their teams. When it comes to leadership, mindset matters, and it can be the one change that changes everything. Thanks again, you guys, for joining me here on Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal.